Hello and welcome to your GMan Season 16 Division 5A Matches of the Week recap for Week 3. I'm your host Lord Sigmund, and let's get into the games. So, first up this week was Stupid Puppies Malison's Underland Amazon team versus FC Ammenstein Hummersep's Pro Elf team. An incredibly disappointing 1-1 draw here. I'm incredibly disappointed in Hummersep. My prediction was incorrect here, and let's have a look at the stats. So the Amazons had the ball for 62% of the game. From the 12% possession, I imagine the Elf touchdown was fast. 4 completions for the Elves though, so I'm guessing a bit of vanity passing happened. 6 knockouts and a casualty for the Zons, so I'm guessing the Elves had attrition problems, which led to them not being able to win. Let's have a look at the recap then. So the Amazons induce a wizard and choose to kick. The Elves turn 1 vanity pass to level a rookie catcher. The Amazons move forward to encircle the Elf line of scrimmage and then fail a dodge to end their turn. On turn 2 the Elves make another vanity pass but also burn a reroll in the process, then fail the handoff back to the passer, without changing the state of the line of scrimmage beyond a block and a single dodge back. Amazon pressure's imminent and the ball's on the floor. Not much comes of it though, and the Amazons get a player close to the ball, marking up the Elf thrower, but the ball is left alone. On turn 3 the Elves roll a lot of stumbles with no tackle against the line of Zons on the line of scrimmage, pushing them to one side but not achieving a lot, but making a bit of a hole. They do leave the ball unmarked until the last action on the turn though, relying on a dodge, a pickup and a pass from the thrower before it's in a relatively safe position. They get it onto a blitzer, burning the second reroll on the catch, who then dodges through this slight gap on the line of scrimmage to run solo into the Amazon backfield. He then fails a go for it though, again leaving the ball on the floor with Amazon players in range to pick up. And pick it up they do, but not before moving plenty of players back to support it and mark the fallen blitzer. It does cost them a reroll on the pickup though. The Elves respond on turn 4 with some dodging to get the 2-die blitz sack on the ball carrier. They make 7 2+ rolls without a reroll to get markers back to cover the supporting players, and an assist for the blitz before the Elf blitzer on the floor gets up, knocks down the ball carrier and retrieves the ball on a 3+ before making his 8th and 9th 2+ roll to dodge away and a go for it. The Elves have a chance, but the Amazon could easily turn around in their turn 4. The Amazons don't mess about and they bolt the ball carrier, unfortunately failing to break armour, but they get the ball free and form a loose cage near the back of their half, picking the ball up and pass it back to their tackle blitzer in relative safety. The Elves manage to push back a cage corner and wrap the cage pretty comprehensively, but a lot of the Elves doing so are based and risk being knocked down to do so. The Elf turn ends with a failed dodge and Hummersep rightly doesn't bother re-rolling it. Luckily for Elves, the Amazons don't go a-bashing, focusing on the ball first. They move round to reform the cage on the other side of the pitch, slightly further forward, but then they fail the catch, with the catch skill when handing it off to a new cage ball carrier. The Elves don't do much with their turn 6, they blitz from the Amazons and the ball and start the start of their turn and get their knockdown, but then immediately snake the dodge away with the other blitzer on the other side of the pitch. The Amazons have similar luck with the blitz, but seem to give up any thought of trying to take the ball to the Elf end zone, and switch to trying to turtle in their own half. It's turn 6 and they make no move to get a player closer to the Elf end zone, even moving the blitzer who's on the line of scrimmage backwards to surround the downed AG5 Elf blitzer. And then they fail to break armour on the foul. I disagree with this. I think they could have had a scoring opportunity if they push forward a bit more. They have 6 players around the ball, which is a little excessive in my opinion. The Elves on turn 7 blitz with a catcher and push a player into the ball space. The scatter bounces around a bit before landing on the blitzing catcher, who gets it due to nerves of steel, before retreating back a bit behind a screen. Hummersep also moves a blitzer and another catcher into a scoring position in anticipation of turn 8. The Amazons manage to push the ball carrier back to the sideline but don't get the sack, and on turn 8 the Elves finally pull it off. A block to free the ball carrier, a handoff to the nearby thrower, a blitz to free the scoring threat blitzer mentioned before, and a successful pass, all with no rerolls left, to get the turn 8 touchdown and go 1-0 up for the second half. So a bit lucky for them, everything came together on turn 8 thankfully for Hummersep. The Elves set up with 11 and the Amazons 10 for the second half, and it's the Amazons' turn on offense. Luckily for them they get a touchback which goes on their 15 out of 16 skill point catcher on the line of scrimmage. They make a space on the nearest flank and cage up on turn 10, but seem to forget that their throw is in the backfield, not moving her at all for a few turns. The elves blitz the front corner and mark up the ball carrier with a blitzer, and do the same with the other front corner and screen round the rest of the cage. The Amazons just step back into their own half though and reform the cage there. Again, the elves get a blitz from the ball carrier again, but it just gets knocked out on the next turn, and the Mighty Blow Amazon blitzer injures the line elf on the blitz too. But the cage doesn't move forward any, and they've used 4 turns to not advance the ball at all, realistically giving up on the opportunity to win the game and settling for a draw at best. The elves get another blitzer marker on the ball carrier, but they're down to 7 players, attrition taking hold. It only gets worse on turn 13 as the Amazons knock out that elf blitzer on the blitz. 6 players left, but the elves do manage to reform an elf screen in front of the cage on their turn 13. The Amazons are able to run the cage to the side of the screen though on turn 14, and on turn 15 they keep going, not enough elves left to impede them as they proceed down that flank and get the turn 16 equaliser with little opposition. Looking back, this is the 3rd straight 1-1 draw for Stupid Puppy. I think they need to look at playing a bit more offensively, making screens and trying to push forward more often, positioning scoring threats rather than just caging up and playing it relatively safe. Attrition stopped Homerset from getting the win here, I think, and it was a sad lot, but it was a sad draw. Next up, we get CBL Mansa's Seed, Landate's Humans versus the Trailer Park Boys, Saddam's Chaos team. A 2-1 win for the Humans here. Another incorrect prediction. I thought the Chaos would mash up the Humans a little bit. Looking at the stats though, they did. It was an impressive win for the Humans. They did get beat up as I thought. 6 knockouts, 2 casualties, and a kill. And what looks like 2 vanity passes, even. But the Humans still pulled off the win. Excellent. So let's have a look at the recap. The Humans choose to receive. They get some blocks in and pick up the ball behind the line of scrimmage, but then end the turn with a failed block on the line of scrimmage with the Ogre. The Chaos move forward to mark up the Human line, and then on the second turn the Humans start risky with a blitz from the standing up Ogre, followed by a 1-die block from the blitzer next to it. Both luckily successful, and they spend their turn just pushing Chaos players off the Human line before moving into a more rigid cage behind the Ogre. Saddam responds by badly hurting a lineman with the Minotaur blitz on turn 2, but doesn't threaten the cage, only moving back up to mark the Human line again. The Humans get some good blocks in on turn 3, mainly because they have block skill everywhere when the Chaos team don't, and they move the cage sideways a bit. The Chaos respond by wrapping the cage tightly, but the Humans manage to blitz down the Minotaur and get a lineman and catch her into the opposing half. The Chaos use 4 players to cover these deep runners, and Landete takes the opportunity to run the ball carrier with a bit of support down the opposite flank. He gets a further bit of luck when on turn 5 the Chaos, having used their reroll earlier on a failed triple block no less. No block skill doing them in. Only get a push from their end of turn blitz on the Human ball carrier. The Humans stun both nearby beastmen on turn 6 and get a blodge stepping catch in midfield to screen off the 4 Chaos players stranded on the other side of the pitch. The Chaos mark up but don't blitz that catcher, instead moving beastmen backfield to defend against a touchdown attempt. But an end of turn double frenzy push from the Minotaur on the Ogre leaves a gap midfield for the Humans to run right through. The Humans blitz that scoring catcher free and hand off to him after running through the hole left by the Minotaur for the turn 7 touchdown, going 1-0 up. With 2 turns left, the Chaos do their best to create an equaliser opportunity. The Humans set up in a central Protect 5 formation, and the Chaos drive right down one flank. But unfortunately for them, they fail the turn 7 3+ pass forward, fumbling the ball instead. On turn 8, the Humans blitz down the only beastman in scoring range, and end the Chaos equaliser hopes there. The second half starts with 10 players up on each team. Saddam comes out swinging though, knocking out 1 Human and killing a block lineman with the Minotaur. They don't screen off their ball carrier though, and a simple blitz opens gaps for the Humans to get 2 players marking the ball, and 2 other Humans nearby to support it and screen a bit. But the ball carrier is an AG4 beastman and is able to dodge away and run down the side of those Humans behind a wall of Chaos players. The Humans have an overcommitted a bit with no players left to defend, and a wall of Chaos players between them and the ball carrier, including a wide screen. The Chaos try to spice it up a bit though, in their relative safety, and try a pass forward to a rookie Chaos warrior for the touchdown. Fortunately, it fails the catch though. Which leads us to our Player of the Week. The Humans pounce on the failure, blocking a bit of a gap in the Chaos wall. First with the Ogre. then with an adjacent blitzer. Enough for... yeah, they mark up another player. Enough for that G4 catcher to make 3 2+ dodges, a 3+ pickup, a go for it to escape, a 4+ pass over the top of the entire Chaos team, and a 3+ catch before running the ball all the way down to the Chaos end zone on turn 10. The Chaos knock out 2 more humans, leaving 6 on the pitch before moving a Beastman back to threaten that ball carrier and prevent a stall, so the humans are forced to score on turn 11 to go 2-0 up. Only 1 human knockout wakes up, so 7 humans set up against a full Chaos team, and they try to defend, but there's just too many Chaos players to overcome, and Saddam scores on turn 14 to make it 2-1, and give himself a chance to score an equaliser and earn the draw. Helping that's a perfect defence roll at kick-off and a snaked first action pickup from the humans with no support, and the Chaos retrieve the ball and push forward into the human half. Landete attempts to dodge away for a 1-die blitz on the ball carrier, but has to burn a reroll on the dodge and then rolls a skull on the block. Saddam just needs a 3+ handoff and a go for it to equalise on turn 16, but unfortunately he rolls a 1 for the catch, and Landete secures his 2-1 win. This was an excellent game to watch. I'd definitely give it a look if you want to watch fun games in this division. Saddam was very unlucky at the end to not be able to get the equaliser, though. His bash definitely whittled down the human players enough to be able to make that opportunity for a draw. But that excellent, it could have been a win, but that excellent play that we saw on the video got the humans the touchdown. I think he would have been better not trying for that pass. it was the vulnerability there. They could have just kept it on the Beastman behind the wall of Chaos players there. So, game 3. Chem Killers, Murphy's Khemri versus Best Luck is Bad Luck, Right Fools, Dark Elf team. Oof, 0-0 draw, and not a lot happening armor breaks wise. 3 knockouts from the Chem Killers, 2 injuries, and a KO from the Dark Elves, so Dark Elves out bashing them over it. Khemri had most of the possession. Let's see what happened. So the Khemri induced hack and slash again for the chainsaw, a choice I disagreed with like I did last week, but they choose to receive. They get the ball on turn 1 and screen it behind the Tomb Guardians, not making a tight cage straight away, which I respect this time. Hack earns his wage this time though, by casting a Wrestle Lineman on turn 2 on the blitz. They make a loose cage, well screened, which is definitely an improvement from last week, and the Elves dodge back to screen it out themselves in defence. The Khemri continue to make a funeral march play down the pitch before breaking to one side on turn 7, and unfortunately leaving an opening for the Elves to run around the nearby screen and blitz the ball carrier, which they're able to do. They're not able to retrieve the ball though, and the Khemri do on turn 8 with a 4+ pickup from a blitzer. They then unfortunately fail the 4+ dodge they need to get towards the end zone, and the first half ends 0-0. The second half sees 9 Elves facing a full Khemri team though. The Elves get the ball back in the middle of their half, but they're spread too thin to make an offensive push and screen the ball carrier effectively. This lets the Khemri team get a marking tackle blitzer onto that carrier in turn 10 and mark up the Elves that push down a flank on their turn. On their turn 10 the Elves dodge away from that blitzer, but then attempt a 3+ handoff to a blitzer based up against a Tomb Guardian and fail it with a reroll. A risky move, but they have little option with so few players left. With 3 nearby Tomb Guardians, Murphy clears a path to the ball and the thrower moves through to pick it up. There's an elf on the floor next to him though, and on turn 11 that elf stands up, blitzes the thrower, knocks it out, and pretty much scuppering Murphy's chance of scoring. The runner retrieves the ball and on turn 12 Murphy blitzes it, but Rightful makes the dump-off pass to a nearby unmarked blitzer, which Murphy then surrounds with Tomb Guardians. The Dark Elves injured 2 skeletons but are unable to free the ball carrier from the Tomb Guardian cage, and Murphy knocks it down on turn 12. He's then luckily able to pick up the ball with a blitzer with no reroll, and runs it towards the end zone with a Tomb Guardian adjacent. It's not enough defence though, as the Elves manage the sack and retrieval with their superior movement skill. On turn 13 the Khemri manage to get a marker on the ball carrier, but need their blitz to do so. But it's not enough. Rightful's able to blitz free the ball carrier, run around the based up Khemri players, and make the 3+ pass and 3+ catch to a based up wrestle lineman, before dodging away and running down towards the Khemri end zone, seemingly out of reach. But Murphy moves the only player in range, a Tomb Guardian, down to mark the ball using 2 go for it's on turn 14, and with no rerolls left, yells roll a 1 to dodge him away from the touchdown on turn 15, and cementing the game as a 0-0 draw. A lot more interesting game than I expected from these stats. And match summary. Both teams had scoring opportunities, but were denied at the last moment. Murphy got very unlucky to not earn a single SPP beyond the MVP. He rolled a lot of stunts on Tomb Guardian armor breaks, I'm afraid. Last up, we have Lijan's KSO Bulls, Chaos Dwarf team, versus Hindy's Red Fang Elite Warriors Orc team. A 1-0 win for the Orcs, and rounding out a terrible prediction week for me, I thought these guys would get the 1-1 draw, and the Chaos Dwarves were unable to fulfill their side of that. Looking at the stats, wow, 2 armor breaks from the Chaos Dwarves, and they get a casualty and a kill from them. 56 total ball possession across both teams, but 124 blocks into 11 armor breaks total across both teams leads me to believe that these teams spent most of the match punching each other and little attention on the ball. Though we do have, have a look at the dice rolls. We do have 2 out of 5 successful pickup rolls from the Cursed Dwarves, and 4 out of 5 for the Orcs, and a successful pass from the Orcs as well, so maybe some ball play occurred. Let's have a look at the recap. The Orcs choose to risk kick, and the Chaos Dwarves fail the first pickup. Last action, and choose not to reroll on it. On turn 2 they don't even attempt to pick up, failing a block on the line of scrimmage with a reroll before they get the chance to. The Orcs meanwhile spend their first 2 turns basing up and punching the Chaos Dwarf line of scrimmage. The Chubs make the pickup on turn 3 but need a reroll to do so, and move the ball up behind the line of scrimmage. The team spent the next 2 turns punching each other in a giant scrum on the line before a failed really stupid roll gives Lijan an opportunity to run the ball carrier up and out, halfway down the Orc half with a 3+ dodge and 2 go for it's. The Orcs manage to get a marker up to it, but the go for it needed for the sacking blitz fails. A Chaos Dwarf blitz frees that ball carrier on turn 6, who runs down to the Orc end zone for a bit of a stall, and I'm left wondering what stops them from scoring in the next 2 turns. The reason is they continued to try and stall out on turn 7, despite an Orc blitzer being in blitz range, and there being little chance of an Orc team scoring on 2-turn touchdown to equalise. A very risky play from Lijan, and one I don't really see the point in. Maybe they're too used to playing against faster teams. Their turn 7 sees the Orc injure one of the Chaos Bulls, and then use the blitzer in sacking range to get a 1-die blitz and surf that ball carrier. Completely unnecessary stalling attempt from Lijan here, in my opinion, and the first half ends 0-0. On their offence, Hindy widely doesn't cage the ball up, instead forming a really good screen and using it to tilt and push the Chaos Dwarf team up and away from one of the flanks over the course of 4 turns. They injure another Dwarf blocker along the way. On turn 13 he ends the turn by handing off to a 15 out of 16 skill point Black Orc nearer the Chaos Dwarf end zone, and then Red Fang starts to stall out. Lijan's occasionally able to get a player out of the melee to mark the ball carrier, but never sack it, and Red Fang scores on turn 16 with the 1-0 win. I think Lijan threw this game away. He had a great chance of a draw at least if he had scored on turn 6 rather than going for the longer stall attempt, and I really don't know what he was thinking there. So, this week ends with no additions to Homerset's Hall of Fame. I'm a little bit disappointed here. Hopefully next week we will see more from him there. So, here is where we are on the standings for this week, after this week. So we can see that Homerset, despite his draw this week, maintains the lead with 7 points and a 3-turn touchdown difference. Closely followed by the Humans with 6 points. Then, bringing up, we have 3 teams at 4 points, the Trailer Park Boys, Red Fang Elite Warriors, and Best Luck is Bad Luck. 2 teams on 3 with Malison's Online and the Chaos Bulls. 3 draws from the Amazons there. And then trailing is the Chem Killers, who, if Murphy gets a win by the end of the division, I'll be very, very happy. I want to see him succeed. So, let's have a look at the division statistics. So, the Trailer Park Boys, Minotaur, Cyrus, by sheer weight of blitzes and blocks and casualties, and now 2 kills, ends up top of the impact player list. And we've got the Best Luck is Bad Luck, the Dark Elf Runner, followed by Miguelio. I can't pronounce that very well. The human catcher there in 3rd place. Top scorer, we have that catcher with 3 touchdowns now, followed up by a load of 2 touchdown players. Nicely to see 3 Pro Elf players there, but yes, we've got a human with 3 touchdowns in the lead now. And Cyrus the Minotaur continues to rack up blocks, leading the pack at 36 blocks. But then we have 3 Orc players, which is, after this week's game went, not surprising. Getting a 2nd kill, Cyrus then shoots the top of the top kill list with 2, and also the most violent with 6 casualties. Still no 2nd serfs, but we've got, I think, 1 extra serf this week. Yeah, Buggear. Red Fang Warriors Blitzer gets a serf of the Chaos Dwarf Ball Carrier in their game this week. So let's have a look at back to the teams in the game. So teams after this week, we've got FC Ammenstein. Mandalo, a rookie catcher, gets dodge from the completion, and Christoph Roland, the dodge blitzer, gets tackle from the MVP and a touchdown. Excellent pickup. We need some tackle on this team. No injuries this week, so they're looking good for this week. Next, the Trailer Bot Boys. 4 skill ups for this, guys. Good development game despite the loss this week. Cyrus, that blocking Minotaur, manages to get guard from 2 casualties. Jim Leahy, rookie Chaos Warrior, picks up Mighty Blow to match his mates from the MVP. Bobbles and J-Rock both got a completion, and they get plus IG and block respectively. So he seems to be picking up block first on most of his Beastman, which is probably good. But yeah, another plus IG Beastman, that's going to be excellent for them. And Ray LaFleur gets a touchdown and gets block as well. No injuries from these guys this week, so looking good for next week. Next up, Best Luck is Bad Luck. Nothing changes for these guys. No skill ups, no injuries. And yeah, Witch Elf close to leveling, so hopefully this one gets at least a vanity pass from the next game. Red Fang Elite Warriors. Bad Arrow. Black Orc gets Mighty Blow from a casualty and a touchdown, even. A touchdown. That was so fun. Short Tilt, the Blitzer, who was missing this game, took the skill up last week, but we hadn't picked it by the time our recap happened. Picks up Guard, which is a good choice. I imagine Rock Soup will get Mighty Blow, and so I'll have 2 Guard, 2 Mighty Blow, and then they'll swap over. Head Scratcher, rookie Black Orc died and is replaced by Head Scratcher's Legacy. KSO Bulls. Ooh, their Mighty Blow, sorry, their block Bull Centaur picks up plus strength from the MVP, sorry. But yeah, and they pick up a Minotaur. Did they have that before? I can't remember. No, they didn't have a Minotaur before, so that's a new addition to their team. Cool. I hope that gives them a bit more chance to win. That'd be good for them. Yeah, that Bull Centaur's missing the next game though, so yeah, hopefully that'll stand in for the Minotaur, stand in for that extra strength. Chem Killers, no skill ups, no injuries from these guys this week, unfortunately. The MVP did go on a Tomb Guardian though, so I think that's helpful. No, the MVP went on the tackle blitz raw. So yeah, they've got a tackle blitz raw at 13-16 now. So yeah, I don't know what he's going to pick up at 16. I'm not exactly familiar with how Khemri teams develop, so interesting to see what Murphy picks if that guy levels up. And then we've got CBR Mansa C. Oh wow, yeah. Miguelio, I can't pronounce that right. The Blodge Step catcher gets plus strength from 2 touchdowns. This guy's going to be a beast, and the humans are racking up their stat increases. Alejandro Lopez, block lineman, died and was replaced by Martin Irizoki, this third catcher that they picked up there. And finally, the Amazons, Malison's on the land. Oh wow. The weaker the stat increases. March Hare, the block catcher, gets plus agi as well from a touchdown. And no injuries for these women. Okay, so let's have a look at the schedule for next week. And some predictions. I can't get any worse than I did this week, so is this week terrible for me? Let's see what happens. So, Amazons versus human team. Ooh. I like the humans' chances, but is it going to be another 1 win week for Stupid Puppy? No, I think the humans are going to. No, the humans don't have tackle. Yeah, I'm gonna say this is gonna be another 1 win week for Stupid Puppy. Hopefully, I'm cursing myself, so to see more daring play from the Amazons. But yeah, I'm gonna say this is another 1-1 draw. Chem Killers versus FC Emstein. Easy win for the Elves here, no doubt. Don't firmly again Hummers up. Next, the Chaos Bulls versus Trailer Park Boys. All the Mighty Blow and Claw on the Chaos team is going to open the Chaos Dwarf team up like a can of beans. The Chaos are going to easily win this one. And then next, we've got the Red Fang Elite Warriors versus Best Luck is Bad Luck. Tough one. I think the Elves should hopefully be able to win this one too. I always like playing versus Orcs as Elves. Their slower movement speed lets you run rings around them. My team's a bit more developed than these guys are, but yeah, I think the Dark Elves are going to manage it. Okay, so that was your week 3 recap. Again, if you have any good highlights or matches or anything that you think I should watch, just send me a private message on Discord or leave a comment on the video, and I will see you next week, guys. Good luck with your matches.